Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Tonight, I want to talk to you about the lack of news material. Okay, this is going to be an easy one, right? Because all of these videos are improv. I have no idea what I'm going to say before I start saying it, and I guess sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But let's talk about the lackluster content that is currently being produced and distributed on all major networks, and the only ones that are creating new content are, in fact, the proprietors of such content. I mean, even Apple makes new content, but nobody watches it. How many really good movies are on Apple or Apple TV that no one will ever get to see? Thanks, Apple, for making the most stringent title franchise agreements possible so that other platforms can't ever show your stuff, including Amazon Prime, right? That's another one. But regardless, there is definitely something going on with the media. Now, we're about to elect another president here in our country. That's coming up. That's just under a month away. And with only one debate under their belts and one of them committing treason and the other one putting people in jail for absolutely no reason. I mean, leave it up to America to have these kinds of real life scenarios go down. It's pretty big deal. I mean, the United States of America is, in fact, the premier global superpower currently, and it's quite interesting that just 3 weeks before the election, there's essentially no ads from the in. I is there an incumbent? There's not an incumbent. There are two people running for president. One of them is running as a semi quasi incumbent who is or was the vice president and is and wants to be the president, but wasn't elected through her party. And then the other guy who stacked up the Supreme Court in his favor, committed treason, and then got off, not just only got off, but got exempt from any future charges that may have been given as a result of that particular case. The United States of America, sometimes, if not all the time, is a joke. Now, I say this with all love and loyalty to my country. I always speak directly to Uncle Sam and Uncle Anthony. If you guys don't know about Uncle Anthony, that's Uncle Sam's husband. And if that upsets you, then I surely don't want you to watch the entire video of where I discuss Uncle Sam's relationship with my fictional, made up Uncle Anthony spouse. Regardless, I think, what else could it be? What else could this possibly be in this country if not a joke? One person who's going to likely be our president, committed treason. The other one locks people up for fun. Again, I mean, this is like electing one of our favorite villains from our favorite cartoon shows to govern our free world. To be commander in chief and have the responsibility of that little black case with the red button that can quite literally change the course of history as we all know it. So stay away from the box, dude. We all know about you, Trump. We've all heard the stories. Anyways, there's nothing on TV. There's nothing on social media. There's nothing. It's almost as if news organizations have just given up. They don't want it. They're not even talking about like the normal depressing stuff. They're just talking about boring. I mean, I've never seen such a void, ever. And I bring up the political stuff because usually we're inundated with ads about political candidates and so forth. My question is, where does the money go? Seriously, to all the political candidates out there, like, you can thank Obama's Supreme Court for allowing there to be a law that doesn't require donors to publicly disclose who they are, hence the creation of political action committees or SPACs, super political action committees. So, I mean, we've run the Constitution rampant for about, I don't know, a little over a decade now, and it's really got us nowhere, okay? It's literally got us nowhere. Where are the hundreds of millions of dollars going that these candidates raise? And why did the Supreme Court make it so that we don't have to know who they got it from or what they spend it on. That should be all keeping us up at night, because these same fools that are asking us for $5, $10, $15, are they actually saying anything to us on these ads? Are there any kind of directed political ads that are targeting constituents? No, there's not. There's a bunch of panhandlers, including Trump and Harris, who look like 12-year-old NPC streamers on little short excerpts of commercials begging for $5. Seriously. I mean, at some point this channel is going to get a bird plush and I'm going to flip it, and that'll mean, flipping of a bird, kind of a thing. And I'll let your mind get, you creative with that. But nonetheless, where does the money go? I don't see hundreds of millions of dollars being poured into adverts. I don't see hundreds of millions of dollars being the amount that it costs to hire canvassers and to stock local election offices that are mainly volunteers anyway. So do the American people just get shook down every presidential election? Because that's what I feel like. And that bothers me. And it should bother you too, because you live in this country. And these people, these over-glorified criminals, literally rob us every second of every day that we are in this reality. And, I'm not a fan of being robbed. I'm not a fan of you being robbed. I'm not a fan of our people being exploited and taken advantage of for no reason other than other human beings thinking they are better than us. That's just silly stuff. And I want to know where the money goes. Seriously, the IRS hits me up if I don't pay them $130 in back taxes. I get the letter. So where is the oversight for politicians that are running for national office? I mean, I'm not down to just fund Kamala Harris's life for the rest of it. I mean, she's already rich. Her husband, her in-laws, her brother-in-law, she's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And it shouldn't make any sense to you. Nancy Pelosi is a lifelong elected politician. She's not an investor. She's not a hedge fund banker. She's nothing other than an elected politician who I thought fought for the poor, except now she's one of the wealthiest people in the world. So how does that come? How do you go from advocating for the worst off and the poorest people in our country to sitting right up with the rest of the dirtbags, having your little time in the sun with your fame, when all you're doing is looking stupid? Like, I don't get it. It really bothers me. And I know that there is a complete void and shakedown going on because I'm not seeing any ads. I'm not seeing any targeted actual political ads for the presidency. Now, I'm convinced that both of these criminals are just pocketing the money. I mean, seriously, like 400 people go to a Trump rally, 35 people go to a Harris rally. Where is the money? That's all that I want to know. That's all that any of us should care about, because we're all so busy trying to live our lives and deal with the rising costs of absolutely everything that not a lot of us have time to consider, hey, where's that $10 I gave Kamala Harris going? Where's that $5 I gave Donald Trump going? Well, it's going to pay lawyers. It's going to pay salaries of highly privileged executive board members. It's not going where it needs to go. And where it needs to go is within the political party to hire and to canvass and to spread grassroots messages door to door. Now, I just am not a fan. I'm not a fan of the way media is going. I'm not a fan of the way we're all being taken advantage of. And we really need to consider moving forward what we're going to do about politicians, because we need to do something about them. If we do nothing about them, they will literally, this country will become totalitarian. It will become a spot of despotism. It will become a really weird and cringe country. And, I'm not about it because a lot of people all over the world can already make that argument. And I'm holding on to what little semblance of hope we have here to take back what we've done, to be held accountable, if not by anything other than admission of recognizing the mistakes that we've made so that we can become better people. That's the only way it can be done. We cannot become better people if we fail and we just continue to not learn and, more importantly, talk about our mistakes. Because in just a month, the election will be over. And these criminals that are running up against each other, one of them's going to be gearing up to get back into the White House, and the other one is going to be checking bank accounts, seeing how much money they got left in their political action committee because, well, now they have no job and they just want to live for free off of everybody because they don't want to do anything. Holy potatoes, them do something? You got to be joking. Harris only puts people in jail. Trump only commits treasonous acts at his own interest. So, I don't know. 2 criminals. Yay, go America. It's like, it's so insane that I literally don't understand how boomers and Xers have made it as far as they have in life. But I guess I do understand because most of them could care less about anything other than themselves, and they've indoctrinated, or they've attempted to indoctrinate younger generations with the same BS ideology, except it didn't work. Were you guys counting on that? Because I'm here to tell you it's not working, and it will be stopped. So, that being said, the media sucks, and every media medium currently, other than YouTube, Hulu, and maybe Patreon, like, again, these are the only places people ever come and will ever go to look for their news. And when they go to these places, go ahead and keep making yourselves look stupid, major networks, by not doing anything you're supposed to do, showing old celebrities that no 20-year-old in their right mind would ever care about. Seriously, get with the program. That's kind of a cool pun. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a really, really good night. And to all the politicians out there who think that it's okay to shake us down for all of our hard-earned money, you got another thing coming. You truly do. And now, even though the court system is on your side, all the 90-year-old people who are 12 seconds away from being unalived, with the exception of the one hottie who's on the bench that Trump put there. She's a conservative. She's a biracial married woman who has children and will be on the bench for probably, another 40 years or so. Think of her as like the new Ginsburg, except without the insult to Ginsburg, because Ginsburg really was a pretty loyal and ardent commenter and supporter of basic rights, and she was a great judge. So we don't know if she can be compared to that woman yet. However, she is pretty cute. So there's always that. I hope that, hey, how many of you ladies out there voted just for Bush because you liked the way he looked? I don't think that I'm weird, right? Seriously. How many of you ladies out there thought John F. Kennedy was a dynamite? I'm just, being fair. That's all. All is fair in love and war. All is fair in love, not war. War, there's not anything that's always fair. War shouldn't even be fair, but there are rules to that too that sometimes governments around the world choose not to follow. I just think of that big thing called the Geneva Convention and World War II, and I don't know, you'd think people would stay loyal to what they agreed to, but have you seen the Israeli-Palestinian conflict lately? Ooh, was that a low blow? It definitely mostly was. And not to any Jewish people, but definitely to the Israeli government, who continues to only cause problems for the rest of the world. So, thanks, Israeli government, for trying to make this something that it's not, because we love Jewish people, right? Anybody who's ever been in a history class the last 100 years knows about all of the suffering that y'all went through, but yet, even recognizing the Holocaust, you still decide that anyone who says they're anti-Israel is anti-Semitic, when in fact that's not the case. Let's not get it jumbled up. A bad government is a bad government. Benjamin Netanyahu is the closest thing to Satan that this world has ever seen in its most recent iteration, and he's a terrible, terrible leader. So that guy should definitely not be the president of Israel, and the Israeli government should stop committing genocide and stop killing innocent Palestinians because they're using the backdrop of anti-Semiticism when that is in fact not the case. It is just some old grumpy Zionist racist white guy who wants to have World War III all so that Israel can maintain its independence, when in fact that was never even the question. Israel has had its independence despite there being unilateral agreements within NATO and the Geneva Convention for going on 100 years. They've had their sovereignty, they've had their peace, but they want more. They want to take more because they think it's theirs, and it's not. It is not yours, okay? So Benjamin Netanyahu, chill the freak out. You're about to cause some major world problems, and my country is the one that is helping fund your little thing that you got going on over there. So I can only hope that whatever criminal gets elected into office here in the next month decides to make the right decision and to not continue to fund your government. Right? Your government. We can go into Israel and help out the Jewish community in any way and shape possibly imagined. One thing that we will not do is continue to support the genocide and the ongoing unaliving of hundreds of thousands of innocent children and civilians currently in the Gaza Strip and throughout other recognized parts of Palestine. Okay? So, like, seriously, I know that was a little tangent, but I'm really passionate about that. And there is, like, some recent news that Israel has, like, literally completely annihilated all of the chain of command for Hamas and all of these things. And the only thing next is war with Iran, which, again, is not a good thing. Okay? No, it's not a good thing. The Middle East must be stable. For the whole world's sake, you don't want trouble there. And I'm tired of talking about trouble there as if it's a normally accepted thing. It's like, oh yeah, there's always trouble in the Middle East. These guys, it's like, well, can we like figure it out? And then there's scholars all over the world, right? Hundreds of years. No, it can't be figured out. No, it can't. Why? Because you're not willing to figure it out? Because you want to continue to perpetuate war crimes and innocent deaths of children and women and civilians? Like, I don't understand that. I really don't. A man's got a problem with the man, go confront that man. Don't bring children and spouses and innocent civilians who are just trying to live their lives into the mix. That's not fair. That's not fair to every living thing on this planet and that has ever existed. It is not fair. So, life is unfair, but we don't have to put up with some things. And we shouldn't. Because if we do, it only makes us crazy. I'm just saying, the more we let stuff happen and do nothing about it, the more we become culpable. And I don't want to be culpable. I don't want to be a part of it, and I need to be on the record in stating where I am, ideologically speaking at least. Because at the very least, that can be made clear, right? And so I hope that I've been clear. And I hope that you guys have a really good night. And thanks again for watching my channel. I really appreciate you. I love Jewish people, and I love working things out. I hate the Israeli government, and I hope things get better in the Middle East. I really do. As a concerned American who wants to see the liberation of all humans all over this planet, I really do. I hope the best for everyone out there. But Benjamin Netanyahu, man, you got some major problems, dude. And if there was ever any rule of law, you, my friend, would be charged, convicted, and tried. Charged, tried, and convicted of some major war crimes, dude. Because that's exactly, you're just a war criminal. That's all that you are. You are nothing but a glorified war criminal. That's what you are, Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm talking to you, pal. I hope that you guys have a really good night, and thanks again for watching my channel. Bye.